Good news, the Federal Information Commissioner has sided with Rebel News against CBC when CBC tried to withhold information about convicted terrorist Omar Khadr appearing on one of their talk shows. Did you know that Rebel News filed for access to information with the CBC about that appearance by convicted al-Qaeda terrorist Omar Khadr when he appeared on their French language show, Tout le monde en parle? I mean, what were these people thinking, hosting a confessed war criminal, someone who killed a U.S. medic and blinded a Green Beret? They had him on one of their shows, just normalizing him. And what did the public, who funds the CBC often unwillingly to the tune of $1.5 billion annually, think when they saw this display of terrorist rehab? Well, we wanted to know, so we filed for access to information into the CBC, a state agency subject to access to information rules. Now, we didn't ask for any of their internal planning notes or journalistic sources. We're journalists too, that's why we're asking these questions. We know that sources have to be protected, but we wanted to know if anyone in management thought this was a crazy idea to have a fun, friendly interview with a war criminal. Did any of the hosts object? And what did they feel about the public's feedback to this whole thing? Were they defensive of their choices, or did they heed the criticism of their, I guess, handful of remaining CBC viewers? But CBC, a state company, has been blocking our access to their government documents. So we filed a complaint with the overseer of information laws in Canada, the Information Commissioner, and guess what? The Info Commish sided with us. Take a look at this from the recent ruling. It comes from Rachel Lauren, the Senior Director of Investigations, Economic, Social, and Cultural Affairs in the Office of the Information Commissioner. Let's read it. The complainant alleged that the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation had improperly withheld information in response to an access request for records pertaining to a guest's appearance on Tout le monde en parle. During the investigation, CBC conceded that portions of the information withheld did not qualify for exemption and issued supplementary disclosures to the complainant. In response to the supplementary release, the complainant narrowed the scope of the investigation to specific pages containing the information at issue. And here's my favorite part. The complaint is well-founded. But the battle isn't over even though CBC lost. Now we have to wait for them to begrudgingly turn over their documents before we can really report what was truly in them. But score one for transparency, and if CBC doesn't like having to turn over documents, then they can, do the obvious thing and just stop taking your money. This fight took time, and it did take money, unlike the CBC, which just lost. We are proudly independent and rely on the willing support of our viewers at home. To support this investigation and others like it, please visit rebelinvestigates.com to make a donation today. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. If you'd like to support our independent access to information investigations, wherein we hold the government and government agencies like the CBC accountable to the people, please consider making a donation at rebelinvestigates.com.